serious?
Both here in the YouTube comments and over on my live streams, I frequently get asked the same question: why do I use Lavos so much?
Why?
Lavos, I don't know who let you in. He must have fucking been in Vauban's coat. Like, no. Definitely not. No thank you. Lavos and your clunky ass cooldowns and your low ass damage, please leave.
And I think that flicked this switch in me where I was like, okay, you watch this.
Well. Lavos. I once said that I would never, ever make a Lavos video, and yet here we are. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for clicking on the video. For the longest time, in my eyes, Lavos has been a subpar Warframe. Reason being is that half the statuses in the game have been terrible. But as of the Jade Shadows update, almost all of them are extremely meta now. And we're going to explore that in this video. Before we can jump into a build for Lavos, we first need to understand how he works as a Warframe in both a broad sense and nuanced sense. Firstly, Lavos has 0 energy. The reason being is abilities work off cooldowns, and those cooldowns are affected by efficiency. His duration also doesn't affect his abilities, but rather the status duration that his abilities cause. He is the Alchemist Warframe. Holding down his abilities in different sequences allows you to craft certain elements for you to then cast onto enemies. His first ability is Lifesteal and Toxin Damage. His second ability is a movement and cold priming skill. His third ability allows you to create universal drops and ammo pickups, and also reduces your ability cooldowns based off how many enemies you hit with it. It also deals electric damage. His fourth skill is a 360-degree wave of elemental damage that is doubled for each enemy already afflicted by a status type. It also deals heat damage. When you combine the latest status rework and Lavos' most recent augment for his passive, Valence Formation, you get a pretty nasty combo. Valence Formation allows you to imbue any element that you combine through your kit onto your weapon with a 200% bonus, as well as guaranteeing that status onto the enemy. So through this mod and the status rework, you can now bring Lavos into any faction, change his kit into any element, and apply that element to any weapon, and it'll actually matter. For the longest time, I just could not get behind Lavos and his kit because I felt that his kit required too much ingenuity for such little reward, because as I stated before, half the elements in this game were pretty doo-doo before the status rework, specifically Blast and Magnetic. This is my Lavos build. It's pretty standard. In fact, this is probably the most common looking Lavos build you can find anywhere. there's not really a whole lot of different ways you can build them. The unfortunate thing is it does require at least 1 Umbral Forma, and I have 5 because I don't have more than 1 Umbral Forma. Lavos Prime should be coming out right around winter time of this year, so gear up for Lavos Prime around Christmas. To start off, we have Sprint Boost. Lavos, you want to run around with him a lot, so instead of growing power, he already has enough strength in my eyes. We're going with Sprint Boost. We also have Cunning Drift to maximize his range, because everything in his kit revolves around range. Umbral mods here, because like I said, he is a very tanky frame, so triple Umbral setup gives us 2000 HP and just shy of 2000 armor. We also have Arcane Blessing. This is going to actually put us right over the 3000 HP and give us even more tankiness. Like I mentioned too, Ophidian Bite gives you lifesteal, so you really shouldn't have any trouble with survivability while playing Lavos. Adaptation gives you status immunity, or excuse me, status damage resistance. Blind Rage, like I mentioned before, we want a lot of strength, but we don't care about efficiency too much because Transmutation Probe is actually going to be lowering our cooldowns. The difference is when you have low efficiency, his third skill lowers the cooldowns a little bit less. But it's not that big a deal because you're going to be so focused on shooting enemies, you're not going to really notice the fact that you're not going to be able to cast your abilities all the time. The main thing you care about when playing Lavos is just combining the skills. Because, for example, let's say I want to make Corrosive. So I have Ophidian Bite and his third skill. I hold cast those two. I can now cast any skill to actually apply it to my weapon thanks to this augment mod. So as long as you just keep cycling between which ability you're using to actually cast the status effect onto your gun, it really doesn't matter. Beforehand, you had to play him in the way that you were actually dealing damage with his 4. Now it doesn't really matter because statuses are good now, and this augment, while relatively new, works very well with the status rework too. We also want a lot of range because all of his skills require range. Transmutation Probe is a very unique skill. The Arcane Eruption is probably the only Warframe you'll ever see this Arcane on, because the fact that when he combines them into Universal Orbs, it's always proccing Arcane Eruption, which effectively makes him even tankier because the enemies are shooting you less. So whenever you pick up any sort of orb, even if it's just health, right, Transmutation Probe is going to turn it into a universal, which allows you to proc Arcane Eruption. Very, very good. This is a pretty standard build. Again, though, being that it's Lavos, you may or may not want to spend this much Forma, but I guarantee you, with the status rework, with this augment, you'll really enjoy playing him. The weapon of choice is really up to you. I went with the Simulor just because it has base magnetic, and I went ahead and put gas on mine as well because I was fighting the Corpus. I have a couple different builds. Go ahead and check out my Simulor video. It'll be linked in the description if you want to see and learn more about why the Simulor is one of the best weapons in the game currently. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. The last few days, I have been covering the status rework in all sorts of different ways. This is possibly one of the best changes DE has ever made. It's just, to me, completely reinvigorated the way you play this game now. Having multiple elements actually do things makes it much more enjoyable to use those elements, whereas before they were either completely useless or moderately useful in very unique niche ways. I want to thank you very much for watching till the end. If you have, go ahead and click subscribe, like this video if you did, and be sure to check out some of my other videos on my channel. Like I mentioned, I have a Simulor video. I went ahead and talked about the recent Wrecking Wall augment for Corvex, the Sevagoth augment, and I also went ahead and made a video for Mag while combining her with the latest blast changes as well. Very fun build. Go check that out too. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Very good.
I get it!